We welcome you in. We are live inside the green room at the 2022 Ed Doherty Awards. My name is James Poovey from the Epic Sports Network. So pleased to be here on such a marvelous day. Usually the first or second Saturday in December, we get the pleasure of awarding the Ed Doherty Award, which is essentially the Arizona High School Heisman to the best player in the state. I'm pleased to be part of the committee and also pleased to be here on behalf of the Epic Sports Network to bring you the green carpet, as we like to call it here live. And we'll also be bringing you the actual Ed Doherty ceremony coming up in about 55 minutes from now. But first up, we're going to be joined by a couple special guests here. We've got a couple of previous Ed Doherty winners on hand with us as well today. And we're going to get things started by having one of the wideouts join us here, Mr. Brandon Phelps from ALA Gilbert North. Brandon, how are you today? Thank you for coming out. And what does this mean to you to be nominated for such a prestigious award like the Ed Doherty?
I'm just glad my hard work's paying off, and I'm just glad I could come represent my school here.
You guys had a very successful season. You had a gunslinger in Adam DeMonte throwing you the football. What did it mean to you to have offensive linemen and a gunslinger like DeMonte to get you the football out there in space and allow you to make plays?
I'm just glad I had all of them so I could show my craft and show how hard I work in the off season. And it's just great to be able to come have them all be on the team and win a state championship, you know.
Now, congratulations on that state championship. You guys very successful out there under Coach Randy Reisdorf. Is there anyone here you want to give a shout-out to before we talk about the significance of being nominated for the best high school football player in Arizona?
Probably just give a shout-out to my quarterback, bro. Without him, I'm not anything, and he got me the ball, and I made plays.
What is it like to play for Coach Reisdorf, a guy who has laid his life here for a long time in Arizona high school football, and he comes in and really gets the Eagles pointed in the right direction?
Coach Rice makes a big emphasis on the character of the player, not only football, and so I become a better man under Coach Reisdorf, and it's going to progress me in my life very well.
Go back to the day when you found out that you were the recipient of one of the medallions that are handed out throughout the season for an individual week's performance. What did that mean to you when you found out you were nominated as one of the best in Arizona high school football?
It honestly just means the world because I put so much work into my craft and then it gets recognized. That's probably one of the best feelings is getting recognized for working so hard, you know.
And what would it mean for you today to come away with this Ed Doherty trophy here presented by the Grand Canyon State Gridiron Club?
That would be awesome, man. I mean, I feel like I'm one of the hardest workers in the state, and I showed it this season, 1,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, the record. But, I mean, it's really about the team. I'm just glad I could come out with a state championship.
That's really the ultimate goal. As we all know, football is the ultimate team game, and this guy right here, Brandon Phelps, contributing to the ALA Gilbert North Eagles. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time this morning, and congratulations on being nominated, and good luck at the ceremony here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. We appreciate it. Next up, we're going to talk to a gentleman from My Recruits. His name is Lou Perone. He's going to join me here on the program in just a little bit. Stay with us here for more green carpet from the Ed Doherty Awards 2022. Make sure we got levels in here.
Hurry up, because I can't suck it in for long.
We're pleased now to be joined by Mr. Lou Perone from My Recruits, one of the good guys here in the state of Arizona, always looking out for these student athletes and making sure they're doing things not only right on the field, but off the field as well. Lou, you got a number of guys here nominated for this Ed Doherty Award today. Talk to us about those guys and what kind of significance that holds here in the state.
Well, recruiting as a whole is very tough. I'm blessed to have, 9 guys here. I mean, some of them are easier than others, but recruiting is just a tough game, especially now with the transfer portal. As much exposure as you can get these young men, it just helps them overall. But they do all the work on the field. They do all the work off the field. I mean, they're just stars in their own right. I just direct the traffic, but I don't want to take anything away from them on their day. I mean, this is their day. Their skill set and their hard work has got them here, and it's great to just be a part of their life.
It really is a special thing to get to know them in the way that you do, and obviously it's a team effort. You have to have the coaches on board, the players have to be on board, the parents have to buy into what you're trying to do for their young student athletes. What do you have to say? There's a lot of recruiting services, if you will, here in the state and throughout the country for that matter, but what is it that makes my recruits different from everyone else?
Well, I mean, I don't look at us as a recruiting service. I mean, Coach Barrow, who's a very well-respected coach, says it the best is, I'm a player liaison. I try to, help as much as I can. It might be something simple as, making one or two phone calls. And the young man that you just interviewed, Brandon Phelps, I mean, he's a superstar in his own right. He doesn't need much direction, but, when I talk to Michigan State about him, they're very excited. And with these offers, when they get these offers, you want to try to make them committable offers. There's plenty of young men out there that have 10, 12 offers, but they only have one or two choices. So not only after they get the offer is it important, but it's important to teach them to build a relationship with the coach as well.
Well, it's got to be a good fit, right? I mean, it's not all about being able to post my 87th Division I offer. It's about being able to post that offer that fits you and your family, and the ultimate goal is for you to go to college and get your education paid for free while being able to play football. Isn't that right?
At the end of the day, it's not about how many, it's about the right fit. Absolutely. And this has to be a decision for the next 40 years, not for the next 4.
And you mentioned the committable part, something is not as special with that nowadays. You talk about the transfer portal. Some of these guys really need to jump on some of these offers that they're getting because a lot of guys entering that portal and some of these guys that have, previous college experience, obviously you start talking about seniority at that point, and maybe some of those guys are going to take some slots that might have otherwise gone to a deserving high school player.
Yeah, we really have a supply and demand problem right now where you have too many players and not enough spots. And when you get something good and it's there and you're happy and your folks are happy and it's a good fit, nothing wrong with taking that offer.
Absolutely right. Talk about some of the guys you have here. You mentioned 9 of your players here, Ed Doherty Award nominees. Talk about a few of those guys here in the last couple of minutes with you.
Well, I got a couple of great quarterbacks here. Gage Baker had an unbelievable record-setting year. Brendan Anderson from Mountain Ridge. Connor Ackerley. Navi Brusen from Liberty is, I think one of the most athletic quarterbacks I've seen in the last 20 years. Adam DeMonte, as you know, is a fantastic young man. I've got a great running back out of Lake Havasu and Isaac Stopke. Austin Johnson just won Arizona Cardinals Special Teams Player of the Year. I know I'm leaving a few guys out, but it's just great to see all of these young men, even the ones that are not mine, it's just so exciting to see them shine and just have their moment.
It really is. Talk about this event here today. You've been here for the last couple of seasons, put on by the Grand Canyon State Gridiron Club. How special is this to really honor these kids? I mean, the parents get to come out. Everyone's well fed. It's a great ceremony, and everybody leaves having a really good time.
They do an unbelievable job here. Rob Yao is a personal friend of mine, and I love what they put on here. I mean, if you're a high school football player, I mean, this is it. This is where you want to be. At the end of your season, being here is one of the greatest honors, and it's an honor for me, for Rob and, the Grand Canyon Club to have me here.
Well, it's an honor for me to be here as well. Coach Lou Perrone, thank you so much for your time. From my recruits, reach out to him if you need some help. He can get you pointed in the right direction. We're going to take a brief time out and visit with Nico Marchio, the 2021 winner of the said Ed Doherty Award here in just a minute.
Really good. Really good. In town for a little bit, so.
Pleased now to be joined by last year's 2021 winner, Nico Marchiol, former Hamilton High School quarterback. Nico, thank you so much for taking the time. Tell us about the year that you've had since we were here last at the Scottsdale Resort and you took the trophy home last December.
Oh man, it's been a big learning experience for me. Didn't get much time on the field my first freshman year, but it's been so much to learn on and off the field. I've had some older veteran guys in front of me, so everything's been a good experience so far. But it's always good to be back here, and there's nothing like being home for the holidays and being home for this great event. So
you've got to experience yourself, Nico, the rise, if you will, of Arizona high school football, especially over the past maybe 6 to 8 years or so. Really some quality talent coming out of this state, not only yourself, but a number of guys. We talk about Brock Purdy, who's now starting in the National Football League, which is obviously the ultimate goal for everyone when they strap up the helmet. What have you seen personally that has really influenced that rise of high school football? I know there's some great coaching, but there's a lot more to it than that.
100%. I think a lot goes into having a good high school team. It all starts with having a good quarterback. For example, the two teams that played in the 6A championship this year, two great quarterbacks. Both similar skill sets, but both are just playmakers and very dominant in that field. And then both in the 5A state championship too. The Higley quarterback Jamar. Just another great guy who just gets the job done. So I think the main thing that goes into how Arizona just produced these quarterbacks is having great guys around them, having great talent around them, and guys just wanting to play with other good players. So when when you show that you're a leader and when you show that you're a guy that can get the job done on the field, the guys are going to rally behind you and want to play and have your back. So that's what we've seen this year.
Well, it's really great to see you back here as the winner of the award last year. We've got to see Bijan come back after he won it back-to-back in 2018 and 2019. And then what does it mean, do you think, to these younger quarterbacks and younger athletes as a whole, to see you, someone who won the award, coming right back here and realizing and never forgetting really where you came from here in the Valley of the Sun?
100%. I was talking with Sam earlier, and this is a brotherhood that it lives on forever. And I hope that these younger generations always know that this is the highest honor in Arizona high school football. So at any time I'm available and I'm free to be here with these kids and the other alumni. I'll always be here because this is the best of the best, and it's just an honor to be invited back.
Great stuff, Nico. Thank you so much for your time today. Things out in West Virginia, you talked about a little bit of time on the playing field there, and now it sounds like they might give you the keys to the kingdom there. How has that staff there in West Virginia and the community as a whole embraced you in your first year?
Oh, they've been so welcoming to my family and I. The strength staff has been the best in the country to me. They've put on some good muscle on me and
I can see that.
Yes, sir. But everything's just been exactly how I imagined it would be. I've gotten stronger physically and mentally. The coaching that you get in college football is definitely different from depending on the place you're at. But I've been blessed to have some good coaches around me and learn a lot my freshman year. So I'm just hoping to come in this next year and get the job done on the field and have my guys rallying behind me.
Well, we're the ones that have been blessed here by the 2021 winner of the Ed Doherty Award, Nico Marchiol, joining us. Thank you so much for your time, Nico. Appreciate it. Good luck in the future. We'll follow you as we have been all throughout your career, and good luck out there with the Mountaineers in West Virginia. We'll step aside for a brief moment and see if we got one more person want to come on here with us before we move our way into the ballroom for the 2022 Ed Doherty Awards. Stay with us. So I'm introducing you as from ArizonaVarsity.com, and what else? Because you're all over the place now.
I would say sports editor, Times Media Group.
We're pleased now to be joined by the sports editor from the Times Media Group, Mr. Zach Alvira, joining us here on the green carpet show for the Epic Sports Network. Zach, what a special day to get to celebrate these high school athletes here in the state of Arizona. We have what we like to call the high school Heisman today, and some very deserving candidates here in 2022.
Oh, several. I mean, it's really honestly just too hard to name. I mean, you from 6A to 4A all the way down to the 2A and 1A level. I mean, these kids really showed what they're capable of this season, as they do every single year with this award, and it's special to be here. It's special to see them be honored. Even the kids that don't win the award are still obviously wearing the medallions. They're enjoying kind of, mingling with all the other players. I mean, this is a great award to celebrate the season that they had, and what a season it was this year.
It really was. Now, you see some of the kids coming here today, and they get the big eyes as they come in here to the green room, and they say, wow, this is all for me. How special are some of these guys, especially guys that are in the outlying areas here in Arizona that really don't get a whole lot of this Scottsdale-type stuff here?
Yeah, I think for them, it's one of those things where they kind of feel like they belong in some ways. I mean, like you said it, some of these schools from Eastern Arizona, Northern Arizona, Southern, I mean, all over the place. The Valley gets most of the coverage, and I'm going to even include Tucson in that as well, getting most of the coverage, but all these other outlying areas, I mean, these kids matter too. Me personally, I cover mostly the East Valley. That's just what I do for work, but I mean, I pay attention to some of these other kids. I mean, from Wickenburg to Lake Havasu. I mean, Wilcox. I mean, our friend Lee Patterson is standing over here, obviously in Eastern Arizona. He's got some really good players too. So the fact that they can all be here and, like I said, mingle and be around these players and be able to say that they were one of the best players in the state, regardless of where they come from, that's special.
Really nice to put on your stat sheet right there that you were nominated as one of the best in Arizona high school football. Last question for you. Any dark horses here, or maybe a surprise that you might think win the award today, or maybe somebody that might sneak their way into the top 5 that we didn't expect?
I can't remember the last time we've seen a 3A player get into the top 5 or potentially win the award, but I really think Eastmark's Austin Johnston has a good chance to do that. Obviously people are probably thinking about DeMond Williams, Devin Dampier, Deuce Robinson, for good reason, Cole Martin, but Austin Johnston, and we talked about it on the radio show this morning that I'm part of, very special. I mean, every time he touched the ball, I thought he was going to score a touchdown. So he is one of those players I think that could potentially break into that top 5, represent the 3A conference, and eventually 4A for Eastmark, of course.
Yeah, it should be fun today. Zach, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time as always. And Zach Alvira joining us here on the program. Now we're going to speak with Lee Patterson and talk to some of about the Eastern Arizona or Southeastern Arizona stars down there in the Southeast part of the Arizona. Good to see you, Lee. Thanks for coming out once again here to the 2022 Ed Doherty Awards. We'll get everything framed up here. How are we looking, Brett? Good to go there. Lee, a number of stars here today, some of them from your neck of the woods down there. Talk about some guys here that you're really excited to see here today.
Well, first off, Christian Pando from Wilcox, 2 times now, 2 years in a row, led the state in rushing last year, led the state in touchdowns this year, all levels, not just 2A, all levels. So I'm excited to see him, although I did see him on crutches and then he got hurt at the All-Star game that he participated in, but I'm excited to see him. And then we've got Morency in the house today with their defensive end up there, and all of a sudden my mind went blank because that's what happens when you're live.
That's all right.
But it's live TV, right? It really is. 23 and a half sacks for him this year, which is in the top 5 in the state again as well. So I'm excited, just like Zach was saying, that these small school guys get to come up, get to mingle with these big school guys that they've seen getting pub all year long,
yes.
And then be on the same level as them. It's really exciting for those guys.
You talk about defensive prowess here in the state, and that's one of the things that's really improved, especially over the past couple of seasons. Do you remember seeing as many guys with double-digit sack totals over the last couple of years as you've ever seen?
I really haven't, especially in our level. There's not a ton of pass-only teams at the 2A, 3A level. There's been a lot more this year with the spread stuff that has come prevalent in high school football, but they're just pinning their ears back and going. I think more athletes are playing down with their hands down this year, or they're sending more outside linebacker types towards the quarterback. So I think the schemes have changed, but it's been a big sack year for defenders.
And how about this event that's put on every year by the Grand Canyon State Gridiron Community? They brought the award back. I believe it's been 5 years now that we've done this. How special is this for these student athletes?
Well, I've been involved the last 3 years, I think, and it's been super. I drive the 3.5 hours just to get to the event every year because I think it's important that we recognize everybody on the same level. Grand Canyon Gridiron Club has done a great job of marketing the event, making the event a wanted trophy now.
Yes.
I think it's always been special, but it's in the last 5 years, it's really taken it to the next level, and these guys have done a great job with it.
Any surprises for you here today, maybe that you might see up on stage in that final five, or is it going to be pretty much business as usual?
I'm not real sure. I'd like to see my guy Christian Pando get in the top 5 for back-to-back years being nominated. Not sure it's going to happen, but the same with Zach. I think it's going to be between either Dampier or Williams. I mean, those two guys led their teams to the biggest game in the state, so I think they get a little bit more credit there, but I think it's going to be one of those two guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's any of the other top 5 guys that winning it tonight either, and which we don't know. I mean, we all have to vote, but we don't know until we walk into the room later today. So,
well, that's one of the best parts is that we're kept in suspense as well. We might know the top 5, but we don't even know the winner of the award, and we're on the committee, and we're about an hour, and less than an hour away from presenting the award, but good stuff here. Lee Patterson, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time as always, and have a safe trip back. We'll step aside for a brief moment here and be joined by one more member of the Grand Canyon State Gridiron Club when we return. We're now pleased to be joined by the 1991 winner, also state champions that same season from St. Mary's, Sam Salt. Sam, how are you today? Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come here again. I've seen you here for the past couple of years, and this is obviously a special award to you.
It is, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to come down. I live in Salt Lake City currently, and I make a point to be down here every year, and this was a great time in my life, and I just want to pay it forward and enjoy the moment with these guys in the room next door here. It's special.
What does it mean to you to see some of these young athletes, a lot of these guys weren't even born when you won the award, let's face it, and now they're coming up here and getting to experience some of those same things that you did back in the day. Maybe the ceremonies, I'm sure, a little bit nicer now than it was back then, but how special is it to see these younger kids come up and get that whole experience?
Well, I keep trying to get Ed Doherty here, who I won in 91, he won in 87, so I can lose that distinction of being the oldest one here. But, we did this under tent with the Scottsdale 2030 Club at Phoenix College when I was there. Now it's McCormick Ranch. It's the kids have a great opportunity, and it's a special moment, and it's definitely, to use the kids' term, this is D1.
This is absolutely D1 for sure. Who are you excited to see here today, and how much do you get to follow high school football here in the state of Arizona throughout the season? You mentioned that you live in Salt Lake City. Are you able to watch some games online and kind of keep tabs with what's going on, especially with those St. Mary's Knights?
Yes, absolutely. My ties here are deep, and all my buddies coach at various schools. Eddie Zuby won it at Higley this year, so I'm really proud of him for that. And they played a game up in Salt Lake a few weeks ago, and so I get a lot of my information that way or just online. But the fact that we bring 50 kids here with their families, and I know only one walks away with the award, it's just, I tell them, just embrace it, because a year from now you're going to be somewhere else, and it's not going to be here.
That's the most special thing. I think all of us that played the game back in the day would just wish for one more series, maybe even one more round to give it a go, and we try to encourage these kids in that same respect, saying, hey, get a it up tonight, especially during the playoff season. I can remember walking around the field and saying, hey guys, live this up tonight because this doesn't happen again ever once you become an adult, so you got to really soak it all in.
That's correct. And I always tell the kids, don't let this define you, but embrace it and enjoy it. And I get to come back once a year and just, it's amazing because this was such a great time in my life. And to watch these kids going through it, I know exactly what they're feeling, and it's good, special.
Sam Stoltz, 1991 Ed Doherty winner, joining us here on the Olympic Sports Network. That's going to do it from the green carpet. We will make our way over to the grand ballroom for the Ed Doherty Awards ceremony 2022. Stay with us here. Jump on over to the other link, and we will catch you here in about 25 minutes or so. Sam, thank you so much for coming on with us. We appreciate your time, and enjoy the ceremony today.
Thanks for all you do.
Absolutely. Thank you. James Poovey signing off for now. Make sure and stay with us here on the Epic Sports Network. We will make our way over to the grand ballroom for the 2022 Ed Doherty Awards ceremony starting right around 11:30. We'll begin things with the parade of athletes. Thanks for joining us here today from the green carpet. Signing off for now, and we will talk to you again very soon. Have a good one.